So the Eagles suffer another brutal loss in Tampa Bay, but even on a deeper level, this Eagles team has major issues. Do they have the right coordinator? Do they have the right personnel in place? How do they fix this? Also, Jalen Hurts has a crucial turnover problem right now, and people are starting to compare him to 2020 Carson Wentz. Is that fair? And one Eagles player did something so inexcusable during today's game that he should be cut immediately when the team arrives back in Philly. But welcome into A to Z Philly. I'm RB. Tough game to watch today. Just a tough day for the Eagles in general. But I do want to express my gratitude because you guys and gals have been absolutely killing it. We hit our goal of 5K subscribers. So do me a favor. If you do enjoy this video, go down below, hit that like button and hit that red subscribe button and help us get to 6K. I want to start off with something that just helps us put this into better perspective, okay? The Eagles have lost 8 out of their last 11 games. You could realistically say they should be 4-0 right now. You could also say they could be 0-4. But the Eagles suffer another brutal loss, and they were absolutely shredded in this game. You come out, go down 21-0. You give up 2 scores. You're playing lackadaisical. I know it's 100+ degrees in Tampa Bay, but they looked like they overslept. And at 14-0, and you have the muffed punt play where Cooper DeJean gets hit by a Buccaneer, but he was actually pushed by your own guy in Isaiah Rodgers, and it sets the Bucs up perfectly. The couple things coming into this game that the Eagles could not do is give the Bucs the ball in short field, turn over the ball in crucial moments, and they had to get pressure on Baker Mayfield. They did absolutely none of it, and it costed them in every way. And I think Thomas Peterson does a good job of summing up how frustrating this game was. Turnover by Hurts continues. Defensive line gets no pressure. Tackling is a massive issue. They had 13 missed tackles today. Refusing to run Saquon consistently. They never get him going early in the game. He is the spark plug. He is probably the most dynamic weapon on this team, and they don't seem to use him to get going early in games. Hurts looks slow, can't get off the field. Maddox atrocious. Just a thing or two to adjust. But I want to start it off with Devin White because, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that it's a tough business, and Devin White is frustrated with his role, and he came here thinking he was going to be the starting linebacker. And look, I know he's still buddies with guys from the Buccaneers. He won a Super Bowl with that team. He was there through the thick and thin. But this is inexcusable. There is no time and place for this, and I think he should be cut today. This is Kenny Gainwell times 10 in the Super Bowl. Okay, Greg Allman says Devin White, who was inactive today and, not playing, not there, retweeted a tweet during the game about Levante David forcing a fumble against his own team. Have you ever seen something like this? Devin White is literally rooting against his own team. He's out there and he's posting stuff for the other team. Again, I know it's his friend, it's his buddy. Are you serious? And the worst part about it is that Devin White actually responds to this tweet. And he says, I only meant to like it. That's my twin for life. It's in my favorite. So look, I don't care if the Bucs are playing the Saints or if they're playing the Panthers or the Giants, whoever, right? Go out, like your post, whatever. Are you kidding me? I'm not even the type to really pull on all this social media stuff all the time, but you're liking a post about the other team forcing a fumble on your own team. Do you care about this organization? You are supposed to really be locked in and just trust your teammates. And I know you're frustrated that you're not playing. I think Devin White's actually handled this situation very well and he said the right things. But this is just absolutely embarrassing. And I've never seen something like it. And I don't think he should be on the Eagles after today. But one guy that's going to be on the Eagles no matter what for the next several years is Jalen Hurts. And ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to really have the question here. And I think it needs to be answered. Is Jalen Hurts the guy? Jalen Hurts has turned the ball over and he's turned the ball over. And I know his completion percentage is up. And I know he's doing better against the blitz and he's improved in a lot of different ways. But the turnover battle is constantly lost by this team. They have not won the turnover battle in 12 games. And Jalen Hurts doesn't just turn the ball over. He turns the ball over in the worst times, in the most brutal scenarios. For example, the Eagles are somehow crawling back in this game. They go down in a huge deficit. You think it's over. And what do you know? Saquon, Barkley, a big run. Jalen Hurts, couple plays. This team's back in it after halftime, and they're down 2 scores. They need to go down the field and score. They're at the 19-yard line, and I'm pissed off that Kellen Moore sent every receiver downfield into the end zone when the offense was in a rhythm. But Jalen Hurts sees the blitz coming. He sees the pressure coming and still tries to make the big play. And what happens? He fumbles it, loses it, and it's taken away by the Bucs. And that was the last little bit of momentum that this team had, the last opportunity. And I just think that Jalen Hurts' awareness, his pocket awareness, his instinctual ability to read the field and sense pressure and get away and scramble or throw it away. He could have even gone down in that situation. It would have been a better decision than trying to make the home run play, losing the ball, and pretty much losing the game at that point. And Jeff Kerr here says that in 2020, Carson Wentz had 8 giveaways in the first 4 games. Jalen Hurts has 8 in the first 4 games here in 2024. And we'll take it even a step further. Jalen Hurts has 4 interceptions and 4 fumbles in 4 games, 7 giveaways, 3 have been in the red zone, and even 1 deeper layer. Jalen Hurts has 9 consecutive games with a turnover dating back to last season, 13 turnovers in the span. He has 27 since the beginning of last season. The Eagles have not won the turnover battle for 12 consecutive games. That is very, very concerning. And I know you pay him to be the guy. And I like Jalen. I think he's a really good kid. He works hard. And I think when he goes to the Super Bowl in one of his first couple years starting, he's going to get compared to some of the greats. But realistically, we have to be honest with ourselves. He's not in that upper tier right now. He's not that guy. And the more he continues to make bad decisions and turn the football over, the more this team is going to lose games. And I think we fought it for a while with Carson. I'm not going to say Jalen is at Carson's level yet because I think he does better things. I think that missing AJ and Devontae is huge, but there's no excuse for this. We have to hold him accountable. And he said it after the game, I have to play better, which is the same thing we heard for many weeks from Carson Wentz. Look, I don't think we're downward spiraling all the way, but Jalen Hurts could have this team in trouble. Another guy that is in trouble, all right? The seat is starting to sizzle a little bit. They're 2-2. They're going into the bye week. Hopefully they can get healthy. But it's time to question what Nick Sirianni is doing, okay? He answered this question after the game about Saquon Barkley. Again, week 1, Saquon comes out. He has 4 consecutive runs. He's the spark plug. He gets his team going. Last week they had 0 points. He runs a 65-yard touchdown bomb. This week, a 59-yard run when they really needed a jolt of life. And I don't understand why he's not being used earlier. You could say to prevent from injury and manage his touches. But look, the Eagles have not scored a point in any first quarter this season. They need to get going early, and Saquon is the way you do it. But here's what he said about Saquon only having 2 carries on the first 3 drives. Quote, we had 9 plays. 3 of them were third down, so now he had 2 carries on 6 plays. That's the way football works. We weren't sustaining drives. What does that mean? We need to ask ourselves, what is Nick Sirianni doing? Okay, I have my gripes with Kellen Moore and the lack of consistency with the game plan. I know losing a lot of your best weapons are out. You traded for Jahan Dotson. Where's he at, right? Jalen Hurts had a nice ball early to Dallas Goedert. He dropped it. Maybe he lost a little bit of trust in him. Could have used Goedert more, right? Britton Covey's out, but you have Paris Campbell who caught a touchdown. The Eagles don't seem to have a clear game plan on offense. But when you have a head coach who everybody is supposed to answer to making statements like this, it doesn't make any sense. What does this even mean? What does this mean? I think sometimes these people in positions of power, these coaches and execs, they try to get too pretty. They try to get too cute. Use your guy, Saquon Barkley. He's the best weapon on this team right now. And every game, even though he's not used in the first quarter and the first half, really, the guy still goes for over 100 yards. We look at the defensive side of the ball, and not to keep singling out certain players, okay? You know, a lot of guys went out with injury today, and the heat was crazy, 100 degrees. They were dehydrated and sick and things like that. But we need to look at the top playmakers, or the guys who should be the top playmakers. Bryce Huff finally had a solo tackle today. I mean, hallelujah. The guy made a tackle. He had a couple opportunities to beeline at Baker Mayfield. Couldn't get past one man, couldn't make a sack. It's concerning. It is time to admit that it was a whiff. 0 sacks, 0 quarterback hits, 0 quarterback pressures. The guy's done nothing. Jalen Carter went out in this game at some point. He couldn't break through. Jordan Davis couldn't break through. Brandon Graham had a sack. Josh Sweat had a sack. It's the first time in a long time their edge rushers have had any sacks, but there's no consistency. Baker Mayfield started this game 12 for 13. He was 15 for 17 at one point, and he had 3 touchdowns on the first 3 drives. I mean, it's just too easy for these guys. And Baker Mayfield has really improved as a quarterback, but he is not Tom Brady. Tom Brady was in the damn booth today. What kind of coordinator do they want on this team? What kind of strategy and really what kind of tone do they want to set? Because when they fire Jonathan Gannon, right, and they bring in a couple guys last year and they're changing things around and they go get Vic Fangio, I didn't really expect much to be different because they say he's the grandfather of the bend don't break scheme. I'm so freaking tired of it because it's soft. You set a soft mentality with this defense. Yes, the corners have to do a better job of sticking on their guys, but you can't send forward the entire game and expect to throw anybody off of their rhythm. This Eagles defense has been lackluster. I don't think they have the right personnel, but even if they had better players, would it even matter in the scheme? That's the question that we need to ask ourselves. I don't understand why this Eagles team did not hire an aggressive mindset coordinator. Why did they not hire somebody who's not afraid to draw up different things, different stunts, just different looks, disguises? Do something to get these quarterbacks off their game. And honestly, we can now say that last week was a fluke. They got lucky. The defense was on the field way too many plays today. They gave up 445 yards of offense, 6 for 13 on third down. I mean, it was just way too easy. 74 plays. That is not sustainable. And Baker Mayfield for the entire first half just looked, I mean, he looked like the best quarterback in the entire NFL. Then we have Darius Slay on Twitter trying to defend himself again. I'm getting tired of this kind of ego. I really like Slay. I like big play Slay. He got hurt in this game. I hope he gets better. There was a play where, he broke one up in the end zone, but really it was the guy who dropped the touchdown wide open. Buck should have had more points. And Slay was saying, incomplete, as if he had made the play. And now he's trying to defend himself against fans. I don't like the mentality, whether it's Devin White or Darius Slay. I think Nick Sirianni needs to garner the control of this locker room. He needs to take a stand. And if he can't do that, then why is he in that position? Is he the real leader? Is he the real voice? I think it's time to do some soul searching, man. It's time to do some soul searching. This team has not played really a clean game. Their situational football and their awareness is on a 0 out of 10 right now. A frustrating loss. They have to pick it up immediately. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.
On BetMGM Casino, there are so many jackpots that you never know when one will go. So many jackpots. So many jackpots. BetMGM Casino. Jackpots. So many.
Download to get a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 on the house. BetMGM Casino.